Usually when you play Half-Life 2, you don't exactly think how much the HEV suit helps you in combat. Because of it you can sprint, allowing you to reposition faster, and zoom in and out, which helps you with aiming at longer distance and so much more. But really, what if you would take it away and roll without it? Hello everybody, it's me, Not Negev here, and today we will see if I can beat Half-Life 2 without the HEV suit. So, let me get the rules out of the way before we proceed. So, the game is set on hard, the challenge starts on D1 train station 06, I am allowed to use any and all movement techniques, and I am allowed to use console commands in cases where I literally cannot progress, and to add extra spice, I will be playing Half-Life 2 Mirrored to mess up my muscle memory because, spoiler alert, I played this game quite a lot. And without out of the way, let us commence forth. My adventure starts in the backyard of Dr. Kleiner's lab, where I continue down the path and meet my good old friend Barney. He tells me how much I need the HEV suit, but I, as a serious gamer, just ignore him. Defeated, he leaves me a crowbar, which is going to be my primary weapon in the first couple of chapters of the game. Bunny hopping forward, I make my way towards the train station and discover that the local police are harassing the citizens, and I, as an upstanding and protective fanboy, deal with them, resulting in my first gun, the pistol. It's not exactly up to my standards, especially in hard, but it will have to do for now. I engage the corrupt policemen in gunfights and flee into the canals, where I could swear that I heard how they off themselves because they didn't move out of the way of an incoming train. No wonder that people were defeated in 7 hours if the individuals like these walk the earth. At the end of the canals, and after a bit of a struggle of the ladder, really, what was wrong with it? I met a Romanian who tells me that you should like and subscribe to me and join my Discord server. Also, I love the angle that those two were watching the TV. Really nice. And here you see the first problem of not having the HEV suit. I have no HUD, which means that I can switch weapons, even if I wanted to. The only way to get rid of the weapon that you don't want to use is to shoot out all the ammo that you have, and HL2 is pretty generous with it, especially on hard, meaning that will take some time. Additionally, what became really apparent really quickly, lack of armor really hurts, and furthermore, I won't be capable of using certain tricks to an extent that I would like to, like grenade boosts, jumps and so on, which is going to hurt, but not for now. For now, the game is pretty easy, since this is literally the tutorial for combat. I got in front of the station 12, and seeing that it was raided by the police, I decided to just ignore it and prop climb it across the wall, as the police in this game would never raid or capture anyone in this universe without a good reason. They are probably cooking meth or something. Running low on ammo, I managed to destroy the other policeman and solve the puzzle, although I'm unsure if Valve intended me to solve it that way. In the very next level, I am introduced to brand new spanking combine tech, a helicopter, which doesn't do much health damage surprisingly. Not wanting to have it on my back more, I prop climb to the end of this section and continue towards the crowd's favorite, Manhack Matt, who I proceeded to leave to fend for his own, of course only after stealing his supplies. Here, the most fun to fight an enemy makes his first appearance, the aforementioned manhacks.
Holy shit, look at that. Manhacks are just so fun to fight. Look at the amount of fun I'm having. Can't you see me smiling? I'm so happy to fight them. I became a Finnish person.
After roleplaying as your dad coming back from a gentleman's club, I encounter police with MP7s, which are totally no, not really, no. The MP7, the basic weapon of the Combine, is not going to be seen much in this run. It has a cool feature of having double barrels, where the lower one shoots grenades from, and aside from its sounds that could be described as, ear rape, which is really fun, especially in the times when I have to shoot out all 250 something rounds of its ammo, it's not exactly noteworthy in any capacity. With that, I reach the most famous set piece of this chapter, this sewer thingy with crap ton of exploding barrels and manhacks coming from all directions. I, as a brave and noble person, decided to just duck in the water and wait out the danger. Also, did you know that your pistol can fire underwater? No? Well, now you know. After solving ultra complicated puzzle involving physics, I reached Station 6, which is currently shelled by war crime canisters containing headhumpers. Of course I can't be bothered to take them all down, so I do what I always do here and just run past them. At the end of the section, a nice lady gives me a mud skipper and I'm finally done with this goddamn chapter. Water Hazard's gimmick is that we have a vehicle that you can drive around in, and that's about it. As much as I would like to say something substantial about it, there's nothing much to go on about. I'll still try though. Skipping Station 7, I reach the funny puzzle and continue towards my drive, this time around with lots of cops along the way. Wanted to give me, I think, a speeding ticket most likely. Honestly, I get that it's supposed to be an oppressive 1984 regime style, but sending entire departments just because someone trespassed into someone's property is a little bit excessive in my opinion. After reaching the Combine outpost and having a literal brain fart, I shot the furniture that was holding the pack of steel in place, destroying the doors and allowing me to pass. Yes, if your aim is good enough, you can completely skip this section. And we're back onto... oh look! There's another Combine base that I can skip in almost its entirety. Cool. This time around we will utilize Prop Climb to pass through like 90% of the base, and hell, we won't even trigger the Chopin spawning because that's inside of the base. In other news, Chopper learned a new trick. It can shoot mines out of his... wait, where the hell does it even store those? Anyway, those are just like those APCs that the cops are now throwing at me, completely ineffective at killing me, who would have thunk? Meandering through the dried up river, you might actually start to think, why do I even drive this thing? And then I remember that the liquid that damages you is scary, especially when you don't have any armor on. Wait, does even armor take damage from it? My feet integrity aside, I stumble across a rebel outpost where a Romanian outfits my mudskipper of a gun, effectively turning it into a gunboat, and tells me that I have to or suffer greatly. What he means by that? It's a great question. And you know what proceeds next, boat ride with shooty, boring. Moving on, I get ambushed by two APCs in what used to be a dock, and I proceed to snipe both of the cars and move on towards the final boss of day 1, which is the chopper, which after a couple of embarrassing deaths goes down. After that I raid the Combine outpost, chill a little bit with G-Man and make my way towards the Black Mesa East. Visual novelty chapter. Can we just skip it? Alright, I need to talk about the gravity gun. So, thankfully I can just AFK through its introduction, however, with it, I have the only hotkey that is available in this run, which is to switch from my last... why am I explaining how quick switch works? Point is, I can finally use whopping 2 weapons. Only like 1.5 hours into the game. Absolutely flabbergasting, eh? Oh yeah, also Eli got kidnapped for a straight up lying to my face that I was wearing the HEV suit. Serves you right, scum. Because of the Eli being kidnapped, I got separated from the background character that nobody cares about and wound up in Ravenholm, which is pretty standard if it comes to this playthrough. And by standard I mean no guns, only gravity gun. In the town itself, I meet a crazy monk who later on introduces himself as Father Grigori, a strange but reliable fellow. Also, he was the one who placed all those traps. Given my extensive experience in kiting zombies in both Call of Duty and Project Zomboid, I had no problems with maneuvering around this place, rooftops or streets alike. After painting zombies in... milk, I get to the most infamous part of the chapter, the rooftops where you are supposed to get the shotguns. Supposed to, because I just kinda skipped it by jumping into that water cistern on the opposite side of the street. In the elevator section, I embrace my inner desync and build a barricade, and just like him, I forgot that fast zombies are spawning indefinitely, and it's going to make the next section a little bit more tricky as my bot is going to be besieged like the Stalingrad while waiting for the other lift. Oh look! A shotgun! How convenient! After getting lost in this section of the chapter, which for me is honestly a tradition at this point, I get to the card section and just like any other person, I jump down and lock myself in a room and go AFK to do some more interesting things. I met the crazy monk and we make our way towards the cemetery, where we kill lots of zombies, and unfortunately it seems that Gregory never played COD Zombies because he just got stuck on some random enemies or something. Also just dropping the character, but man, I can't stress enough how satisfying this section is. Oh, just splitting those fast zombies in half, just... Anyway, I hang in and around some mines, and for once I didn't get lost in them. Quite amazing. Getting out of the surface, I discover it's daytime and the rail tracks are covered by snipers. Now, what will I... Oh, of course, I'll just run past them. They can't one-hit kill me, so there's literally no punishment for me doing so. On the tracks I also encounter combined soldiers for the first time, and the weapon that will serve me for the rest of this playthrough, the AR-2. You know, one of its drawbacks is supposed to be the ammo scarcity, however, with the game being on the hardest difficulty and the fact that soldiers carry it semi-commonly, I actually did not have much of a problem with ammo, like at all. I get to the resistance outpost where I get to know that Eli has been kidnapped and is being held in horny prison. I mean Nova Prospect, yes, Nova Prospect. It's up to us to rescue him and honestly I don't know, go back to City 17 or something, I guess? Ah, Highway 17, finally some good fucking chapter. As per tradition, I skip the buggy because it's just one more way to fail this game and proceed on foot. And given the nature of this level, I can just ABH to hell and back. I get to the little new Odessa, steal some health and get on my way towards the dock where there's quite several combines that I need to send to the Great Citadel in the sky. After getting over the crane and the yard section, I jump over the bridge and acquire the bane of my existence, the RPG. Also in here I decided to ABH towards the level trigger and it didn't really end well for me to say the least. After some time, I managed to get out and land in just one of the most convenient of places, as this is the Combine Outpost where I acquired this crossbow, and then I skipped the fighting because that's what men do. Another map, another bridge. I think Valve intended to do something under the bridge or something, but I'm not sure. Oh hey, I managed to stop the train. Cool. Sandtraps is the first chapter where I actually struggled with, and not exactly because of any tough combat scenarios, those are, come trust me, more because of me not being able to switch weapons, but let's start from the beginning of the chapter. In the tunnel sections, I meet more zombies, which I obviously run past, and finally reach the lighthouse sections, which apparently you cannot trigger if you don't approach the guy who asks you to get to him. That's really interesting and odd. Anyway, as I am in no way equipped to deal with the gunship that Combine sends during the fight, I decided to skip it, which is less than easy given the fact that I have no armor whatsoever. Nonetheless, I managed to grenade boost myself onto a wall and proceed towards the main area of the chapter, the titular Sandtraps, where you are supposed to play the world's most intense lava game. But I got bored halfway through and just ABH'd towards the rest of the level. And we come to this area! Holy shit! You can't even imagine how long I've been here. So really, what's the problem? Well, the problem is that I can't pass through these sections because I need to get the bug bait, which overrides your non-gravity gun weapon, and such makes the rest of the game literally impossible unless antlions somehow grow RPGs on their wings or something. I sat in these sections for a good 2 hours, and after that I just gave up and no-clipped and threw towards the next level trigger. In Nova Prospect, the fights became somewhat challenging. Tight spaces, more lethal enemies, and lack of armor are all a factor in that. However, the biggest one I would have to say is once again the lack of flexibility that you have. A bunch of turrets in your way? Oh well, better pray to Gaben because you can't chuck a grenade in their general directions, making sections with them hell. But I haven't talked about the elephant in the room, the 2 gunships that I have to take down. And here we have a problem, because as I previously believed that I could just shoot out all of my ammo with my primary weapons and eventually switch to it, that wasn't the case, surprisingly. See, the game for some reason just doesn't do that, and the only way to actually equip the RPG without the HEV suit is to go to the console commands and remove it manually. In other words, it's quite impossible. However, it is possible to skip this fight using glitches, which I am unable to replicate. It's just that I'm not skilled enough to pull them off, so yeah, I'm just no clip. They are possible though, trust me bro. Anyway, after no clipping inside of the prison, I was met with the problems that I had mentioned above. However, I persevered. Section after section, cell block after cell block, I drowned the prison in blood. Antlion and synthetic. Actually, can soldiers still be considered human? Anyway, and finally I reached my objective, the depot. In the said location, I met up with the background female character, which I totally never met, and we proceeded to clean up some combined positions, with her helping me with some doors and saying that the soldiers are coming for me. Well, gee thanks, I would never fucking guess that there would be combined soldiers in a combined facility. What's next? The sun is hot? Christ. After a couple of mildly infuriating fights, I reached the control room where I'm supposed to do a tower defense section with turrets. However, Valve forgot to put invisible walls in this level, so I had free reign over basically how I want to escape, and since soldiers seem to spawn after you interact with the turrets, I had free hand in prop climbing, grenade boosting, and all other movement techniques. Needless to say, the only thing that I was lacking is health. Next defense section is also skipped because some balcony in the section doesn't have walls to confine you, and you are allowed to just AFK until your companion arrives. Next is another plot relevant section, which reveals that Mossman, the woman who let you into the Black Mesa East, is a traitor. Oh no. Alex, the other woman, is like, oh god, please let me save my dad. And Mossman is like, that's what I've been trying to do, you dumb cunt. And sends herself and Eli into the Citadel, which is the Combine headquarters on the Earth. We have another, this time around, unskippable tower defense sections, and we get introduced to Combine elites as they die to those turrets. What? Wait, what? They were supposed to tackle them, what? Hang on a second. Anyway, we reach Kleiner's lab where Alex is stuck and I have to no-clip out of here. I wasn't expecting that one either. Okay. Oh, also that resulted in me having my weapons lowered permanently for some reason. I don't know, I think Valve just wasn't intending on you coming this far without your suit on. That or Half-Life Mirrored is bugged, one of those. Follow Freeman is the chapter where you meet up with the rebels and proceed to destroy Combine in the city in hopes of reaching your old pal, Barney, who has been pinned down by snipers. Silly Barney, doesn't he know that snipers can't pin you? You need HMGs to pin people, you silly. I break through God knows how many Berezhnevkas, fighting cops, zombies, soldiers, and even manhacks.
Sweet sweet revenge, you pieces of scrap. Now go away and disappear from this game forever.
Along the way I meet up with Alex, who tells me that we are supposed to defend some generators or something. Yeah, no. I'm just gonna prop climb out of here, goodbye, till next time. And I found myself in the canals again, great. Why there are random Combine soldiers here anyway? I get it as like the 7th day of the rebellion, but isn't that a little bit excessive? Whatever. After my shenanigans, I reached the warehouse where I died. A lot. It mostly boiled down to my limited ammunition pool in AR2, which surprisingly isn't the most accurate thing in the world. You know, if you would equip your soldiers with a rifle, you would figure out that giving them a weapon that is effective past like, I don't know, 100 meters would be a good idea, but no, apparently not. Combine has different ideas compared to me. Elite sniped me multiple times, and I have no effective weapon against them because my next weapon after AR2 is a shotgun, and video game shotguns aren't exactly known for being good at long range. After countless tries, including one where I got Thanos snapped by an energy ball, I managed to take down every single synth in the warehouse and I get to the sniper section of the chapter. I unload my ammo until I'm only left with grenades and I go into the fray, eliminating the first sniper with a well-aimed SMG grenade and rest with regular grenades. I reunited with Barney and we proceeded to assault the main source of power of the Combine in the region, the Overwatch Nexus. The next section involves me dodging a massive ass cannon, which shoots big balls of energy capable of disintegrating people, although I'm fine for some reason. I free some rebels and accelerate back up towards the entrance of the Nexus, and here I need to destroy 3 generators to disable the suppression field. There's one more problem though. The turrets. See, those are invulnerable to anything but grenades, which means I have to shoot out all my ammo every single time I want to destroy them, and since Combine conveniently placed them near aforementioned generators, I am in trouble! A couple of sequences later, I disable all generators and I split up with Barney because he needs to keep some force feed down. Meanwhile, I'll have to contend with endless waves of Combine troops on the rooftop and oh, gunship. Right. Shit. Well, I would say that if not for the fact that this gate actually doesn't have any walls above it, allowing me to simply skip the fight. True, I'll have to contend with the gunship in the next section, which involves about more brilliant Combines trying to gun me down. However, they are blessed with Stormtrooper accuracy, which allowed me to get out of there mostly unscathed, which frankly also surprised me. Like, I think I actually did it in the first try, if I recall correctly. Courtyard, on the other hand, was hell. It is patrolled by true Striders, which are completely immune to my attacks, and realistically the only way to hurt them is the RPG. And before I get somebody in the comments saying that I can also use grenades/energy balls to take them down, it's a good point, however, consider this. Striders have around 1400 health, give or take, and grenades deal 125 damage, meaning that I will have to use about 12 grenades to take them down. And energy balls are also out of question because of their rarity, which leaves me only with one option: run. And after multiple tries, I finally managed to get into a relatively safe space, where I had relatively free reign on deciding what to do next. I decided to engage infantry, which means long range wait, what? Why are they charging me all of a sudden? Well, the AI made the job easier for me, that's something. Now I'll have to cross the street and take down the Combine that is still left behind cover, which is a task which I eventually succeed in. Into the tunnel we go, and another Strider was waiting to turn my feminine ass into a pile of ashes. Bit of jumping and I'm safe inside some destroyed building. And then I get to the final pre-Citadel combat zone, the horse statue house thing. This is a slugfest between me and rebel forces and the Combine, both infantry and Striders alike, and yeah, this is de facto where the challenge ends. See, even if I would take down every single soldier in the area, I'm still unable to hit Striders with anything, so yeah, to answer the question, you can't beat Half-Life 2 without the HEV, but you can beat it with the help of console commands. What I did is a bit wacky, as I decided to delete the RPG and re-added it to my inventory, allowing me to use it, and finally took down Striders. Problem was that I couldn't switch back to my weapons. Oh well, I didn't have to use them later on anyway, so who cares. After pretending to do things, I reunited with Barney and Doc, who are insisting on me to infiltrate the Citadel and get Eli, Alex, and Gabe knows who else out of there. Also, Barney personally requested me to tell Dr. Bream to make love to himself. And to be blunt, I've never delivered this message. See, the chapters that are in Citadel are essentially impossible to beat, as your primary and only way of healing, the chargers, are dependent on you having the HEV suit, and since I didn't have that commodity, the game starts to be literally impossible to beat. As the Combine is way too numerous, there's hardly any cover to hide in, and yes, I can already hear you typing skill issue in the comments, but really, I would have to have some sort of healing, anything but the chargers, and this would have been beatable, but like that, even if you make your way to the Citadel with 100 HP, this is impossible. So to answer the question to the title, is it possible to beat Half-Life 2 without the HEV suits? No, not really. Theoretically, you could save scam the hell out of those 2 chapters, but realistically, you would still have very slim chances at beating it, especially glitchless. Regardless, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time around.